I just really felt like doing some dyeing today, so I've got these 3 bowls here with tea bags in them. I've just boiled some hot water and then I'm going to add some things into them with the tea. I've got hibiscus petals, dried hibiscus petals, dried elderberries, and dried rose petals. And really, I'm just going to go do some experimenting. So maybe I'll put the rose petals in that one. Actually, I'm going to take a few out there. Maybe put some elderberries in that one. And the hibiscus in here. We'll see what that brings. I've got these fabrics and papers that I'd like to wrap up, and I've got some cheesecloth, just some little table runner doily fabric. This is for making patterns. A doily I cut up from the thrift store, something that I'd tried eco dyeing before but didn't really turn out. Just some book paper, card, scrapbook paper, and this is pattern paper. I have a variety of papers in my other piles too, and what I think I'll do is add some metal bits, like maybe wrap some metal whatever wire in there. I've got some lids, old cans, just metal things, and the metal gives it just a really cool surprise effect. So we'll see what happens when we wrap these all up. Well, I've haphazardly wrapped things and I am just experimenting here, so I have really no predictions what's going to happen. I do know that the tea and metal will give some interesting results, and I'm really excited to see what the hibiscus and the rose petals and the elderberries do, if anything. So I'm just going to dip these in now. It's hot still because the water is boiling. So now the reveal, this is the exciting part. And here we've got the hibiscus. I took them out of the water and unraveled a few of these papers. These were the ones that I just folded without the metal. That's pretty cool. And then I just left them overnight to kind of dry a bit. And this one obviously got a lot more delicate, but you can see there's sort of pink tones here and there with the kind of gray. maybe you'd like to see the papers when they're dry and the fabrics, so I'll show you a few of them. And you can see the differences in color. It's just a little, you know, tiny piece of paper. That one's got a lot of different colors around it. And that one started off a light yellow, light brown. You can see the little polka dots of the original scrapbook paper underneath. So it would be hard to know which side to use for that one when you're collaging. And that one's got the cool lines on it, different colors. This one went a little bit more browny, and I can't remember which one was wrapped in which now. That one went really grayish, bluish. Probably that was the hibiscus, I think. And that one too. Same with that one. You see a little bit of that pinky purpley and then the gray blue in there. And then the paper towels. Let's get to some of the fabric here. Lots of different colors there. In the muslin. And this is interesting because this lace, I just cut it in half. And exact same fabric, completely different colors depending on what you dyed it in. So I thought that was really interesting. And crazy to believe all this started off as white. And that one's got some interesting marks, I'm sorry, to it. Some more muslin, really interesting marks to it. And the lace. Got some cool stuff too. So we have a pile of some wonderful things that we can be using for our projects coming up. And of course, don't forget to save your dies. I just put a little tiny bit into these little Tupperware containers, but I also took some bigger bowls and froze them so that if I want to do some more dyeing, I can. It can be in the freezer for quite some time. And these I just saved for some art journaling purposes and dripping and dropping and making splishes and splashes. And then I cut up the poster paper that it was lying on. And remember, I had done some tea staining before, so there's a little bit of tea on there. But all the same, this can be cut up and ripped up and used for some really interesting collage paper. There's just all sorts of interesting little pieces. I mean, even if you know, just took a bit and glued that on, that would look cool. The only thing probably I should have thought about doing is maybe making this paper watercolor paper, because then it just might behave better when you're actually painting on it and stuff. But this should be all right too. And this one, same, like some really cool little marks. I mean, this could be, you know, a neat thing. Just a little piece like that. Glue it on. And this is the one that was in the middle, remember, with all those really amazing marks. And then just little pieces again. Same thing. You know? And the poster paper doesn't look as nice, obviously, as maybe some the watercolor paper might, but that might be kind of cool too. So I hope that inspires you, and if you'd like to try it and you want to let me know any discoveries you made or how your process was, I'd love to hear from you. Happy creating!